each one of us to say something. Doesn't have Navalo to come forward and give us his speech.
Thank you. I have a confession to make. I'm a criminal. Not of crimes of violence, not that, but crimes of communication. See, I was born a beautiful, proud, little, competent miscommunicator. And as I grew up, I was found guilty of endless crimes of communication. Topic fraud, verb robbery, hijacking sentences, disturbance of the speaker. Things went from bad to worse to ridiculous. One day it went over the top. I came home from a day in preschool, tired, probably spent it drawing dragons and rainbows. And the little 5-year-old me misheard, "Please do the dishes," and heard instead, "Please eat the fishes." Not good. Not good at all. The result was chaos. A little bit of choking as well. And finally, of course, an empty aquarium in my home. This sort of stuff could not go on. So my father decided that he was going to learn to teach me a lesson. All of the unspoken rules of communication that we have in our society, he was going to reveal them to me. Eagerly, I jumped up in his lap. I was ready for this. He began. "Son, first and foremost, never ask a woman if she's pregnant. Never. See, I once asked your mother, and she blew up like a volcano. Started talking about how she couldn't believe I had forgotten when we had already chosen a name for him and everything. I'm sure she did have a point. She had told me. But I had had long days, so she was a bit rough with me. So son, don't fall into that trap." "Oh, great advice, Dad," I said, as I pulled a Lego piece out of my nose. "Oh, and son, don't stare. Don't stare into the eyes of strangers for too long, because they will start to think that you are a psychopath. All right? People don't stare, unless, of course, you're both surrounded by an ocean of lit candles and Marvin Gaye. Because during a romantic dinner, you can stare, and you can say anything you like, and it will just appear, oh, so romantic. Honey, I can't believe how these candles make your face look so proportional." No crime committed whatsoever. "I'll remember that, Dad. That's great advice," I said, as I scraped some of the fish scales off my tongue. "Oh, and son, if you're ever in college and someone wants to help you with your studies, that doesn't mean that they also want to run away with you and get married in Mexico. All right? I'm just saying. Because I learned that the hard way. But that's all right, son. Sometimes life will be hard. Like her husband's fists. But the important part is that you do learn, all right? I am learning, Dad, I said. I'm learning." As I swallowed another drop of glue. And finally he said, "One time I was in a heated debate with your mother. Do it," she said. "I dare you to. Call me proportional one more time." "Easy," I said, I retorted. But after a moment of acute pain, I finally learned the most important rule of them all. Don't take every word you hear literally. All right, son. Now me and my father We sat on that couch the whole night through, and he taught me everything he knew. When the sun rose, I told my dad, "Thank you so much, Dad. Finally, I've become an eloquent, perfect communicator." And he said, "Oh, that's great, son. Now, run off and brush your teeth, because it smells like old sushi. Get out of here." Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I too want to learn to communicate better, but I just can't fit in my father's lap anymore. That's a problem, I know. And we live in a society where people care less about their intimate connections than they do about their internet connections. And maybe you are too big to fit in your father's lap. All I'm saying is, if we take our time to learn to communicate better, it will be time well spent. Communication between two people is such a beautiful thing. Unless one of those people has been eating a lot of garlic. But take my word for it, as an ex-criminal, even if we have the right to remain silent, that's not the answer. Let's work on our communication for the sake of our relationships, our happiness, and our success. Let's work on it together. Because in communication, anything you say can and will be used against you. Thank you.
That was Crimes of Communication. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much, Julia.
We'll now